This is Beth. We are live on location. This time we are in Jackson, Mississippi at Duling Hall, and I have with me a 3-time Grammy award-winning blues extraordinaire, Keb Mo.
Hello, how you doing, Beth?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm down in Mississippi. Everything must be all right.
You getting ready for this show tonight?
Yes, we are.
Now, what is it about Jackson that you like? I know it's not your first time here, so what is it about Jackson, Mississippi that you like?
Well, Jackson is a very sophisticated town. It's the largest town in Mississippi. It's the capital, too. We've been able to play here several times, and it's not often I get to come down here. Whenever I do, I feel a special kinship to it because I know there's going to be good food, nice people, and the audience is going to be wonderful. So I'm always happy to come down to Mississippi.
Now, for people that do not know the name Keb Mo, give people a little bit of background of yourself.
Well, my birth name is Kevin Moore. People call me Keb Mo. That's my stage name. I grew up in Southern California. I grew up listening and playing music, playing in bands and knocking around. I've paid my dues probably 3 or 4 times over. And now I get to play in front of audiences that are really listening, music lovers, instead of being in bars where people just want to drink. And I've got an amazing record and as you said, won some Grammys, which is a very special thing. I'm very grateful for my life.
Now, being from Compton, you don't really associate Compton with the blues. How did the blues happen for you? I know you grew up in the 50s and 60s, so anything about B.B. King, I'm sure he was in there somewhere. Your thoughts on B.B. King?
Well, B.B. King has been part of my life for all my life. I think B.B. King made his first record in the early 50s. My relatives, my family has been playing B.B. King records for the longest. If you told me I would actually get to know the man and become his friend and have the relationship I had with him, I would have never dreamed that in a million years. B.B. King was truly not just the king of the blues. He was a king among men and a very extraordinary human. I'm just really proud to have gotten to know him.
When you heard of his passing, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, we always knew B.B. was going to play right on the end until he couldn't play anymore. He told us that, and so we believed him. So he did. He played until he couldn't play anymore. And one day he just said, "That's about it. I think I'm done," and let the band go home. And he went home and said his goodbyes to everybody and passed away peacefully at his house.
Now, besides B.B. King, some of the other blues artists that you may have been influenced by, who would they be?
That would be long list, starting with Taj Mahal, Big Bill Broonzy, Robert Johnson, Tampa Red, Lou Milton, Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, the real guys that came up from Mississippi and really brought the blues to the world.
We are talking to Keb Mo. Now, you mentioned Robert Johnson. I want to touch on that just a little bit because you had a little bit of an acting career.
I wouldn't call it a career, it was an acting moment.
You did a portrayal of Robert Johnson. What was that like?
Back in the early 90s, it was really interesting. It wasn't a big budget docudrama. It was done on a shoestring budget, but it was done with great integrity. We did it in Dallas, Texas. It was just absolutely wonderful to be a part of it, and the work has lived on. It's lived on a long time. And Danny Glover was the narrator on it. I couldn't believe I got to do it.
Speaking of Robert Johnson, I have to bring up a name. I know that you've done some work with her, Rory Block.
Oh.
Your thoughts on her?
You love Rory Block.
I do.
She is amazing. Yes, I've got to tell her. I think I did a duet on one of her records. We did a Marvin Gaye song of all things.
Ain't nothing like the real thing.
Yeah.
I am a fan of both of y'all. As a person, what are some of your thoughts on her?
Oh, her as a person?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's got a beautiful spirit and a beautiful soul. Always very youthful in her attitude, ready to learn, ready to help. She's just a absolutely wonderful, exquisite woman. And she can play the hell out of a slide guitar.
I have not had the pleasure of seeing her, but I've heard some amazing stories about her channeling. It's quite awesome. Some of the other artists that you have worked with, can you name off a few of them?
Well, I got the chance to work with Lou Milton, Coco Taylor, Jackson Browne, Bonnie Raitt. I recently worked with Bobby Rush. I worked with the Dixie Chicks. I worked on TV shows. I recently worked on the Mike and Molly TV show where I co-wrote the theme song with Josh Kelly. Charles Kelly is his brother's in Lady Antebellum. And Marcus Miller I worked with, the great jazz bassist. I worked with Spyro Gyra. Lots of people.
You mentioned Jackson Browne. Rock Me on the Water. I know you did that one, which is one of my favorite Keb Mo cover songs. What was the moment that you said, I want to do that one?
Well, it was I was approached about doing a Jackson Browne tribute record, and they actually picked it for me. And I liked the idea, so I did it.
Okay, so you didn't pick that. So if you could have picked the Jackson Browne song, what would you have done?
I would have done live nude cabaret.
We are talking to Keb Mo in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm trying to figure out what to call myself. Do you have a nickname for your followers or fans or anything like that?
I had to call them my friends.
Your friends? Okay, so they're not like Keb Moians or any of...
I like to address, people that come to my shows, and fan is short for fanatic, and fanatic implies crazy. My friends who come to the show, and they are very, classy people. They're very, just really intelligent and great folks, and I like to think of them as my friends, and I'm always thanking them and grateful that they come.
And then today you meet a fanatic. I'm talking about me. We are talking to Keb Mo. This is like a dream of a lifetime for me. I am crazy.
You crazy.
You crazy too. Yeah, some of the songs that you're going to play tonight, are they going to be a variety of every album that you've done, or specifically to the Pink album, or?
They're going to be from all the records. They're going to be like from all of the records. There should be something. I might miss a few, but I'm not I just try to put songs that make for a fun show.
Now, speaking of your songs and music, you've been around very heavily. I know you came out with something in 1980, roughly.
Whoa, you went back there, didn't you?
I did go back there. I had to go back there. But you've been, coming out with things pretty heavily since 94. What is it that keeps the Keb momentum going?
I'm surprised I've never heard that one before. I never heard that. Can I use that one?
Yeah, you can use that one.
Keb momentum. Well, I like to think it's just faith in life. If I keep doing my work with the intention of being a positive person in the universe, I've been rewarded with longevity in my life, in my career. Very grateful for that.
I have to keep saying this. We are talking to Keb Mo. What I want to do now is kind of something a little bit different. I'm going to name a blues artist of some kind, and we'll do about 5. Your favorite song of theirs.
Contest. Wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
You're testing me now.
I am. You mentioned Muddy Waters earlier, so your favorite Muddy Waters song.
Can't be satisfied.
I mentioned Rory Block. Your favorite song of hers.
Come in my kitchen.
Robert Johnson.
Love in vain.
I got to mention Little Milton.
Walk the back streets and cry.
I didn't hear you mention this. I'm not trying to throw you off. Son House.
Death letter blues.
We are talking to Keb Mo, and what I want to do with you now is kind of go back into time a little bit. Did your parents do a good job raising you?
My parents did an excellent job raising me.
And is Keb Mo a religious person?
Keb Mo is not a religious person. He's a very spiritual person in the sense that I am very into spiritual concepts and the truth about what spirituality that covers all faiths and all. I'm a man of faith. Yes, I am. I wouldn't call myself religious. I think religion gets us in a lot of trouble because we started thinking one religion is better than the other one, and mine's better than yours, and it makes for conflicts. But I think I don't have any beef with any religion, and I think they're all intended to take you on the high path, on the high road, to get you to your enlightenment, so that you can have a better life and a more evolved life and a more actualized personality.
I like that answer. The most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you while on stage?
Knoxville, Tennessee. I had a guy throw a soft drink at me in a paper cup.
Did you go after him later?
No. I said a few 4-letter words to him, but I should have kept my cool. But I jumped back in really quickly.
And off stage, most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
I kind of stuffed those.
I would. I would too. I would do that for sure.
Yeah.
We are talking to Keb Mo. I want to go over a couple of your songs, not on this new album, which I do want to get to later, but Blues Americana. One of the songs on there, actually my favorite Keb Mo song.
Really?
Of all time.
Yeah.
Is on that CD.
And what is that?
The worst is yet to come. That is my favorite one. And
we'll be playing that tonight.
what inspired that one? Was that like life?
Well, what inspired it first was just the title. I thought it would be a good title to have a song. The word, the best, the play on the best is yet to come. But the worst is yet to come is a great subject for the blues, because it's like one of those things. How when bad things happen, one after another after another, and they kind of come you're like, oh my God, that's the blues. It's like, and that's when the blues is the most fun, because I think the blues is fun, taking bad situations and turning them into humor and turning them into things we can laugh about and move on. But it's, I like that song. The positive deal about it is that, the bridge says, the sun keeps on shining just like it should, when I take a look around me, I think I'm doing pretty good.
Like a couple of CDs before that, you had a song on there that I put it in my top 5. It's called One Friend. What inspired that one?
I wrote that song with a lady named Zuriani Zurenfeld. She's an Indonesian, married to a Dutch guy, and she lives in Los Angeles, and I've been writing with her and playing with her for a long time. And we had a writing session, and she walked in the house, and she was just complaining and whining about, oh, boy, these people in L.A., they're so fake. They don't do what they're going to say. They say they're going to get together when they don't, and they're always canceling and just blah, blah, blah. And I said, Zuriani, it's like, it's okay. You don't have to have a bunch of friends. All you need is one. One friend. Oh, that's our song. Let's go.
Now, you could kind of interpret that as a gospel song if you wanted to.
You could. You pick your one friend.
We are talking to Keb Mo. I want to talk about your current life, family life, if you don't mind. I know you have a wife and a son. Oh, you have 2. Okay, my bad. Like, how are they with you, traveling, doing shows and stuff like that?
I do my due diligence to make sure I stay connected to both my sons. My first son is 28 years old, and my young son is 9 years old. So I do my best to stay connected with phone calls, going out to see him. Well, the little one we live together, so he comes there. But the other one's growing up, I always call and check on him. He calls and checks on me, and we play music together, and we're real tight, all the 3 of us, and even my current wife with my son and his mom. We're a good family, and my older son's mom. We're all very, very close and very tolerant of each other and very kind to each other. So it's a good situation.
I mean, I would imagine. I talked about their side of it, but for you on your side of things, is it difficult to, not be with them? I know that.
It's difficult, but when I'm with them, when I come home, I'm with them all the time. When I'm there, I'm there. So I see my kids a good amount of time.
We are talking to Keb Mo. I know you have to get ready for a show here coming up. I appreciate you sitting down and making my dreams come true, because you were at the very, very top of my interview list.
Wow.
The very top. So thank you very much. What I want to do now is something that is kind of a sad subject, because all these blues guys are just, dropping off one by one. Something that you want to be remembered for when you die, though. Like, what do you want people to remember you for?
I don't really care if anybody remembers me when I die. You know why?
No, what?
I'm going to be dead.
You're going to be dead, so you don't even care.
I mean, I would hope my family remembers me, and my sons and my close relatives and my wife remembers me, and maybe they'll miss me a little bit, but I hope everybody moves on like people move on after one. I don't care who you are, people, after you're gone, people move on. I hope to have left some positive energy behind. I don't care if people are talking about Keb Mo or going but if I left something behind that people can look at and take positive notice to and to use in their daily life just like they're using now, that's what I'd like. Fame was never important to me. What's important to me is doing my work. And
I think that you have done a great job with the work that you have done here so far. I know you're not done. The best is yet to come for that. For that, not the worst. We're talking to Keb Mo. One thing I want to talk about, and then I will try to wrap this thing up, but I could talk forever. So, I mean, you just got to be like, hey, you need to, no. But tomorrow, the B.B. King homecoming.
Yeah.
You're going to be there, headlining it. your thoughts on that, since there is no, it's kind of, I was saying earlier, it's kind of not really a homecoming anymore. It's more of like a memorial, in memory of BB King Festival now. So your thoughts on that? Have you performed at the festival before in the past?
No, I haven't. This is a special honor to be asked to come and headline the first homecoming concert after the passing of B.B. King, because he faithfully went to his hometown every year and did a concert for free. We're going this year to help to maybe let that legacy continue, for the town of Indianola, Mississippi, for the legacy of that town, for the legacy of the museum, and what he brought to that city, and the pride and love that he always gave them. We're going to go and do our best to continue that.
And I promise you, I am done now, but I am going to leave the final words to you. Once again, we have been talking to Keb Mo here in Jackson, Mississippi.
Thank you so much for your time and coming to talk to me, and thank you people for listening, whoever's listening out there. And I appreciate you, and I hope to meet you sometime.